one down.
Target down. Do not die here. Mark the target.
Pushing hell.
Taking effective fire.
Headshot.
Capture the objectives, eliminate the enemy. You heard the man, let's get it going. AGI, we are locked and loaded. We are rushing the front.
Vehicle detected.
We stay in the trenches. We about to get dirty. This is the match, a part of my Verbalizing My Violence series that I had for myself. 3 large, huge lessons that I learned from. The lessons, inshallah, I'll highlight them as we get closer to them later on in the match. But in rewatching my videos, I cannot think of anything. There are several things that I have done to improve my gameplay over the years. One of them is reading books and reading texts, to be honest. That may sound strange to somebody, but it is something that has greatly improved my mindset. If you ask, for example, an American soldier, an American mercenary, because you have them in America, right? If you ask one of them, what is the most important thing you bring to the battlefield? He's going to tell you mindset, your mentality, not your gear, not your weapons, not this and not that, your mindset. So here I'm trying to capture C. Most likely I'm solo, if I believe, right? Originally, we saw there's some smoke. So if I can't see them, then they can't see me. So I wanted to take advantage of that, assuming that they don't have thermal scopes, and go in as hard as possible. I throw in the proximity mine, using it as a grenade. It goes off after a couple seconds, and I'm able to kill, but then they spawn back on. Eventually, as you see in the end, I get sniped. Not going to back down from trying to capture C, whether I'm by myself or I'm with somebody. Here I'm getting sniped at, so I want to shoot at this individual, keep bullets in their face so they cannot shoot straight at me. Make it more difficult for them to land shots. I throw the mine in, and I put it into the wrong place, and I find that this place is actually contested. So we got to do what we got to do. Somebody actually jumped in on that mine. So now this is a long 30 seconds. It takes 30 seconds for somebody by themselves to capture a point. So I want to try my best to catch any angle that somebody might approach me from. Keeping my eye, basically enemies are going to spawn either at the crane. You see the crane straight ahead of us behind the blue train car, or they're going to spawn on the warehouse side. Enemies, try to keep shots on them. Glad I had a teammate that pushed over, put down the IMS. Automatically, IMS captures what? Catches 3 kills. Great. Let's get out of here. So now we had 2 middle points. We got B, and I get sniped pretty much with the arrow. B, C, trying to push my way towards D. That was my next move. Just get my ammunition and get back into the fight. Unfortunately, my people, if you notice, they're on the edges. I only have really one squad mate. You'll notice during this game, I have really only one squad mate who's really there just lending his assistance like I'm trying to help him. He's trying to help me. So again, we're trying to push D. I know that most likely people are going to be coming out of this broken wall. Here I get pinned. How do I get out of this? Throw the stun, pop up. I had to give him a little extra just for that because I was in a bad position. Technically, he should have won that fight. That's Mr. Arrow. Technically, he should have won that fight, but I was able to, alhamdulillah, wrestle my way out of that. So I know they spawning on that side of the map behind that green warehouse that was on my left. Right now it's to my 6. So I don't want to attack from the same area I was just shooting from, so I want to change my angle and push in from a different direction to add the advantage of having the enemy first looking for me. There's a sniper, I saw the glint out in the open. So here's the first real lesson coming up. The first real lesson is I should have had a proximity mine down by that door because they're going to drop from the top of the warehouse or they're going to come through that door. So that's lesson number one. And this is the benefits of rewatching my vid. So that's what I share with you. If you're going to hold up in the area, defend your rear, defend your flank with the proximity mine. That's what I prefer. You can put a claymore, but claymores are not as effective as proximity mines, in my opinion. Here we have an APC up on the hill. That's a very powerful position. I wouldn't recommend it because the APC is pretty much a armored taxi. So you can get a lot more good out of it, a lot more use out of it if you put it on the point and you capture a point. But these persons are stuck in the TDM mindset and not the capture the objective mindset. So here I don't want to panic. Excuse me. Here I don't want to panic and get on the point, get out the helicopter, and try my best to capture the point. Now we have an APC and possibly other people spawning on the APC. So how do I handle this? Let's get closer. As I do approach, I notice that there's somebody on the right. Pull out the short, medium range weapon, finish him off. Again, I see two people over here straight ahead of me. It'd have been better had I stunned, but I'm able to finish that with a headshot. Now here comes the APC. I want to bait the APC into moving backwards. And that's exactly what happened. So they ran over the proximity mine. Proximity mines, in terms of a lethal, are one of the best. You can have sticky grenades, you can have regular grenades, you can have thermite. So that was the warehouse I was telling you about before, to put a proximity mine on the ground there. So I tried to grab, I'm running score streaks, so I tried to grab some extra points by helping my team capture, but unfortunately I wasn't fast enough to get on the point. So now it's an uphill battle. If you notice, the score is what, 48 to 118. We're down by a lot. We got a long way to go. So now my next step, I don't have a vehicle, so I have no choice but to push B. Step out, checking my corners. Want to make sure, look to the left, look to the right to find where most enemies are going to come from. Try to highlight that player. In Call of Duty, it's up on the D-pad. In Battlefield, it's R1 button, which I think is a better choice. It's easier to just aim down sights and click R1. So I earned now a cruise missile. What do? I want to search for their armor. Their armor has the most utility. So alhamdulillah, actually one of them was actually coming closer to me. So that gives us an opportunity to capture the point. I want to push out, taking advantage, if I can, of the smoke that we have here. So first big lesson that I learned was cover my rear. I already know that. Cover the flank with a proximity mine, but that was just another opportunity to do so. Now we got the point. Let's move on. Got the IMS. I should put that down. And I put it here, someplace in the corner. As you'll see later on, that IMS does exactly what right now, actually. Dead. Nice. That's exactly what I needed it to do, which is guard the point in my absence. Here, coming up, once we cap C, I think to myself, okay, now this is the time for my team to wake up. We have the majority of the points, although we're down. We have the majority of the points. All we have to do is capture either E or D, and we're in a good point. So I wanted to clear my area first. Put down the mine, getting ready. Here we go, contested. So now we got to clear this off. Anybody here? Got to be careful because people like to lie down prone in the grass. And yes, somebody ate that mine. Great for me, bad for them. Let's get going. Got to get to D. Approaching, I know we have two areas that the enemy comes out of. One is going to be right here on the other side of these blocks. Two is going to be right here. I actually ran out of ammo. I've learned that when people try to jump in a gunfight, aim for the head, and that's exactly what happened. I hit him with the miracle bullet, which is the last bullet that happens to be a headshot, and it kills them. Those three things. It's your last bullet that you kill them with, and it's a headshot. I call that a miracle bullet. So now I'm trying to constantly keep changing my angle. Here I'm in a bad gunfight because that person has cover, and winning that fight is tough. So I try to back up and strafe. not just backing up in a straight line. That's important. You do not want to back up in a straight line because pretty much you're not a moving target. So I want to strafe as I'm backing up. Here we got people on my left. What do? I ricochet the stun off the wall, pushing hard. This is the second lesson coming up right now. I make the mistake. Here it is. What was my mistake? My mistake was I was going for the point. What I should have done, I should have had, again, this is the key word, mindset of clearing the building first. Clear the building first. So in that situation, I should have pushed in not with the RPK, but with the KV broadside, the shotgun. If I pushed in with the KV broadside and Allah knows best, I would have had a better opportunity of winning that gunfight and then potentially taking E. Yes, I know I'm not responsible for all 5 points, but I have to put my weight and my experience where I can. So now I'm trying to do two things at the same time. I'm trying to take care of the transport helicopter and drive. It's not working for me, right? Because you'll see I'm going to crash into several things. I know the importance or the danger, depending on what side you're on. If it's on your team, it's the importance. If it's on the enemy team, it's the danger. I know the danger of the transport helicopter. Again, I'm trying to shoot the point because sometimes you might get a hit marker with a tank or with an APC. I just got shot at with a rocket. With a rocket, I'm ignoring that. What is important is the point. Unfortunately, they also had their armor, and their armor was able to counter the APC, and that's just how the game goes. So now still, we got to get on a point, and unfortunately, we lost C, but I'm not giving up. Once I touch, I know the enemy is going to come out. So I want to try to hold. This is a corner I like. There's another place on the other side. Here I'm coming across the tank. I should have been ready for the tank. It's difficult to pay attention to multiple things at the same time. I got that. But I should have had in mind that there's a tank out on the loose. Keep your mind on the tank while you're trying to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. So jump out of the transport helicopter. I want to be careful. Nobody sniping from the crane. I see a target. Finish the target. As I approach, there's somebody else there. I'm able to dodge that. Throw a stun. The stun doesn't go exactly where I want, but his mind is that I'm at the front. I swing around to the back, and I'm able to finish him off. Let's go. I thought that was a player right there, so I was ADSing, getting ready for the gunfight. So, pushing up. So lesson number 1, pay better attention to where you're putting your proximity mines on your flank or on your rear, at the bottom of a staircase, for example, behind the door in the corner, wherever it is. Again, contested by who? That's the target. Eliminate the target, as the man told us in the beginning. Capture the objectives, eliminate the targets. Put down the trophy system, expecting anything that somebody may throw from their tacticals. This is a long 30 seconds, especially when you're by yourself. This person came from an area that was unexpected. Good for him, right? He was able to parachute his way over, and he got the kill with the Icarus. Icarus is actually not a bad LMG. Still not giving up. What are we doing? What can transport helicopter? Get the transport helicopter, rush the enemy side. Here is the third lesson. This is the mistake that I made. So I understand I can't make somebody leave their hiding spot, but I can encourage them. This is my mistake. My mistake is I take the transport helicopter with all of its importance and I put it on top of this building, which is a normal move for me. But I leave it out in the open. The better move, I should have taken the transport helicopter because yes, I'm on the point, right? Here comes the tank and I'm better prepared for it. So I'm 0-1 against the tank. Tank is disabled. I thought there was 2 of them. There's one that's prone. You'll see here. One is prone. That actually should have killed both of them, I believe. Oh, I'm mistaken about that. Scratch that. So what I should have done is taken the transport helicopter and put it where? Behind the red warehouse. On the edge of the map. Placed it down. Let people drop out. Naturally, people would just flow. This person loses the gunfight and the game is over. Naturally, people will just flow to D in that situation. So instead of leaving the transport helicopter out in the open, I should have just put it out on the side in a place where the enemy team would have to go out of their way in order to break the transport helicopter. If you're dealing with like-minded people, when they spawn on a transport helicopter, a questionnaire from Call of Duty, how was the connection? When they spawn in a transport helicopter, they would see the wisdom of leaving it in its place. Inshallah, you learned something. I did. I see you all in the next one. Barakallahu li wa iyyakum.